Welcome to another episode of the VFL show from Lulie Street. I'm Marcus Wagner, and unfortunately we're coming to you after another loss, this time at the hands of Essendon last Sunday. Joining me each week as he does is Anthony Rocca. Now Pebs, we must have gone alright last week because we've gone and lobbed ourselves a sponsor, Subway. What can you tell us about that?
The ratings are in Vags, and looks like everyone wants to get on board for the time being. We'll start with Subway, but what a magnificent sponsor they have been for the club over the past couple of years, particularly with the VFL.
Oh, brilliant. Well, we consume our fair amount of Subway after each game, so it's only fitting that they've jumped on board. Now, Caff, you made it down to the aptly named Windy Hill on the weekend. What can you tell us about the game?
I did, mate. Yeah, got down to Windy Hill to watch the boys play. It was pretty average conditions, same as Ballarat the week before. Obviously, it was a big build-up to the Anzac Day game and excitement of the TV cameras and the last post and all that sort of stuff. So, but as I said, yeah, disappointing finish. We started off reasonably well. We see Quinton Young coming back from injury, managed to kick a goal from about 65 metres out. But Essendon in transition were just able to score too easy, and that was sort of the story of the day. Paddy Carnesis, as the game went on, played really well. Probably one of our better performers on the day, and managed to kick a couple of goals as well. But the Bombers in the end of the second half got a run on and able to string multiple goals together. And disappointing for us that we sort of weren't able to stem the flow of that. And then towards the end of the game, obviously we had a couple of injuries to a couple of our key players, and both backmen in Tony Armstrong and Darcy Moore. And whilst they both looked pretty bad injuries at the time, hopefully the boys like me miss too much footy. Darcy hopefully only missed a week or two, and before that, throughout the game, he was playing some really good footy and was recognised after the game by his teammates as being the standout performer on the day with just his attack and intensity on the footy. And hopefully those boys don't miss too much footy in the back within a couple of weeks.
As you can see, the scoreboard there, Caff, Collingwood 43 to Essendon 75. Our goal kickers were Paddy Carnesis, Youngie, Jake Williams, Steele and Marsh, and our best were DeGoey, Williams, Carnesis, Borthwick, and Maloney. Going on from the player rankings here, as you can see, Paddy on top of the list leads our Collingwood VFL side there, and finishing in fifth place is Jared Witts, who had another really good game, particularly in the ruck. Started the game forward. We tried to get his tall marking power out forward to start the game with Coxie starting in the ruck. So Jared Witts had a standout game there.
Now, boys, we had our dedicated VFL reporter Sam Gaston down there for the match covering the game. His dedication is so strong that he is still down there at Windy Hill. Sam, can you hear me? Didn't you get the memo about the bus back to the Westpac Centre?
All right, thanks, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, I envy your position in the warm studio here. I'm out at the appropriately named Windy Hill. I'm absolutely freezing, and I've had plenty of time to dissect Sunday's match against the Bombers. We lost by 32 points. But after the match, I had a chance to chat to Coach Dale Tapping and first-year player Braden Maynard.
I mean, even the game yesterday was very nerve-wracking, sitting in the stands and watching the last post, but getting an opportunity to play out here at Windy Hill against Essendon and actually standing there with my teammates listening to the last post actually sent shivers up my spine. So, yeah, it was a great opportunity and, yeah, loved it.
In general, disappointing result for us, but you strip it all back and you have a good look at it. I thought again the effort was pretty sound. No criticism in terms of effort, and given that we lost a couple throughout the course of the day, and with the group we've got, particularly at the moment, predominantly a younger sort of group with a sprinkling of some experienced players. It's just sort of building that connection between the group, and I think that's a real area of growth for us. It's clearly not where it needs to be at the moment, and it just gives us something to work on.
Thanks, guys. It's Sam Gaston here from Windy Hill. I hope you've sent someone to come and pick me up. I'm ready to come back.
Great work there, Gaston, mate. We'll try and get someone down there in the next couple of days to pick you up, mate. So yeah, sorry about that. But as we did last week, and we'll be continuing to do throughout the year, we'll be getting down to the VFL and finding our dedicated fan in the crowd. This week we've got Ian Musgrove just to get his take on the game and see who he wants to give the votes to.
So I've been asked to give my three best players for the day. I think number 35, Jordan DeGoey, has been the best. He's been in and under the whole game, getting the ball out in pretty difficult conditions. I think I'd give Jared Witts number 2. He's toiled hard in the ruck all day and taken a couple of big grabs up at full forward, kicked a couple of goals. And my third player would be Clinton Young, who hasn't had a lot of the ball, but when he does get it, he gives it a decent boot and picks out players downfield. So they would be my 3 best players for today.
Ian's best player also happens to be my Subway best player for the round, and that is Jordan De Goey. 20 disposals, 6 clearances, 6 inside 50s and 4 tackles. What a magnificent display from Jordy De Goey, as he normally does from week to week. It's probably his second best on ground in the VFL. His dynamic skills, tackling and hardness inside is magnificent. He leads the way in there, and you see some of these images here. He's just on the move all the time and provides good ball use. Well, that wasn't good ball use, but provides energy inside to provide our forwards with some marking capabilities in there. So we're looking for another good game if he happens to play in the VFL this week.
Fantastic. And another really exciting note was the return of Clinton Young as our comeback king. Youngie played about 3/4 of footy, coming back from that hamstring injury. He had 18 disposals, 5 inside 50s and 4 rebound 50s.
It was really good display by Youngie, his first game from a series of hamstring injuries. So he provided some really good leadership out there as well. You know, he's played a lot of AFL football, so we've got a young side out there, and Youngie provides that leadership and communication out in the field.
He also provides a bit of that metres gain and a bit what Cedo provided on Anzac Day, that run and carry and that long ball use. It's really important to the way we play the game, isn't it?
I often tell Youngie that if I had him on the wing and I was playing at full forward, I'd love his long balls into me. So he's a great player for the club.
Well, Collingwood media spoke to him post-game.
So we're here at Windy Hill. We just lost by about 4 goals. We had no bench at the end, but the young guys performed pretty well in the end. We unfortunately had most of the play. We had more inside 50s, but Essendon really hurt us on the counter-attack and they ran away with the game. But there was a lot of good performances amongst the young guys, and hopefully we can build on this for next week. It's been a lengthy process. I felt like I could have played last week, but it was good to get a game today. I only played the 3 quarters. Didn't like necessarily sitting and watching the game from the bench, but yeah, it was good to get out playing again, and hopefully I'll get more of a feel of it and play full game next week.
Well done, Youngie. Now this week we've got a very big game. We're down at Vic Park. It's our first home game of the year, so it'd be great if we get everyone down there to support the boys. We managed to win 7 games down there last year, and we've got the reigning premiers, the Bulldogs, so that'll be a massive contest. And as I said, we get to win a game, so the boys will be up and about, especially after 2 disappointing performances. We've got Matty Scharenberg, who's going to be playing his first game back from injury, so that's very exciting to see one of our top picks over the last couple of years, and he's just had a dreadful run with injury since he got to the club, so very exciting for him, and all his teammates are very pumped for him, and having worked with him very closely, hopefully he gets some reward for effort because he really deserves it, so looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Now the main reason we do this show is for the passionate Collingwood Army. I mean, they've been crying out for more and more VFL coverage, so as part of this show, it's only fitting that we honour them. So we've got a new segment called From the Social Outer. Kath, what can you tell us about this?
Yeah, we've got this week we've got Dave the Man from Big Footy, aka Trade Draft, and as you can see there, he's pretty into his football, and he's a bit disappointed that he might be missing the game this week. But mate, just for you, we're going to live stream it on radio, so you won't miss any of the action. So all you have to do is just get the app, mate, and you can watch it up there in sunny Noosa and tune in and listen to the boys get their first win of the game, first win of the week.
Beautiful. Well, thanks to Dave the Man from the Social Outer. That winds us up for another week. Hopefully we come to you next week after a big win against Footscray. Thanks for joining from Lulie Street.